Hello and welcome to the SGH Warsaw School of Economics and Dziennik Gazeta Prawna Press Zone here at the Economic Forum in Karpacz, Poland. Today I have a great privilege to host a professor from Germany, from Technische Universität of Berlin, Mr. Jan Kratzer. Glad to have you here.
Hello. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay. Today we are going to discuss the topic of startup ecosystem in Germany and also in Central and Eastern Europe. What would you say are the biggest similarities and differences between Germany and Central and Eastern Europe when it comes to attractiveness of the business environment and in particular startup environments?
Yes, thanks for the question. I think there are many similarities. So both entrepreneurial ecosystems have been developing the last decades to almost the same stage. I mean, the German system being more westernized and being older, it started in the 80s. It's a bit more mature. That means there's a bit more public funding agencies, a bit more public funding for startups. There are more incubators, accelerators. There's a higher degree of saturation of support institutions for startups. There's a higher degree of companies doing entrepreneurship efforts, having investment streams for startups. So that's a higher degree than in Poland or Eastern Europe. But for the rest, I think it's pretty similar. But you see now it's a more centralization tendencies from West European countries, so that entrepreneurship center unite to bigger centers to make it easier for investors to find the right investment into the startups. Whereas in Eastern Europe, it's still more singular. So you have every university, every company does have their own efforts in incubation centers and entrepreneurship efforts. There's still more competition and not the centralization tendencies you see in Western Europe.
Okay, and speaking of Eastern Europe, because we are probably catching up to the Western countries and Germany in particular, in which aspects Central and Eastern Europe may be a little bit ahead? Is it maybe less bureaucracy or larger pool of talents? I heard some opinions about that.
I don't think that's more or less bureaucracy. My experience in Europe is it's pretty similar. All right. We all suffer from too much bureaucracy. If it is in France or in Poland or in Czech Republic, it's always a barrier towards entrepreneurship in all countries. And I think that's a bit more experience in entrepreneurship education at universities. It's a bit more grain-fine incubation efforts at the entrepreneurship center. There, the Western countries are maybe a bit ahead. And it's the investor side. I mean, when I see the biggest investors, you have more and more concentrated in Paris, Berlin, London, Stockholm than in Eastern Europe.
Okay. And speaking of barriers of good investments, we need to take into account a geopolitical situation. Do you see it as a threat to the mostly Central Eastern Europe?
A threat or opportunity. I mean, as entrepreneur, you have to see it from two sides. I mean, we are facing many more problems. We are facing climate change, so climate adaptation becomes a major issue also in entrepreneurship. We face new technologies as AI, which have a lot of opportunities, but also challenges. We have an aging society. So there are many, many things. Also the financial side, which shows there are some dynamics. Also the political side, by having more, let's say, parts of the world that's disangled politically. So you cannot speak about a global world anymore. So there are many, many things, and it's a dynamic time. So I don't see it a disadvantage. There are many, many opportunities to develop as startup in economy, but also dangers where you can trap into some really difficult situations.
Okay. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And that was the Economic Forum in Karpacz at the SGH Warsaw School of Economics and Dziennik Gazeta Prawna Press Zone. Thank you.
Cheers.